There's a quiet moment many parents know but rarely talk about. You're standing in the kitchen late at night. The house is quieter than it used to be. Their favorite mug is still in the cabinet, but they don't live here anymore. You wonder whether to text them. Just a simple, "Did you eat?" Then hesitate, not wanting to seem intrusive. Or maybe they still live at home, but everything feels different. Conversations that used to flow now end in short replies. You ask about their day, and they say, "Fine." You sense there's more, but the door feels gently, firmly closed. Sometimes the worry creeps in quietly. They're struggling with work, or relationships, or direction. You want to help, to fix, to guide, the way you always have. But now your advice lands differently. It feels like your care turns into pressure without meaning to. No one prepared you for this version of parenting. There were books about sleepless nights, teenage rebellion, school choices, but not this. Loving an adult child who is building a life you can't fully see or control. You may find yourself asking quiet questions you never expected. Did I do enough? Did I do too much? Why does loving them feel more uncertain now? This stage can feel like standing on a shoreline, watching someone you love sail into open water. You're proud, you're afraid, you're hopeful, you're grieving something you can't quite name. And beneath it all is a tender truth. You still want to be close. You just don't know what close looks like anymore. Developmental psychologist Laurence Steinberg, the author of You and Your Adult Child, has spent decades studying how parents and children grow, not just in childhood, but across the entire lifespan. His work gently reframes something many parents feel but struggle to articulate. The relationship isn't breaking, it's evolving. One of the core ideas in the book is the shift from authority to influence. When children are young, love often looks like direction. You decide bedtimes, rules, schedules. Guidance is clear and visible. But adulthood requires a different kind of presence. Your role gradually moves from manager to consultant, someone who is available, supportive, but not steering the wheel. This shift can feel like loss at first. Influence is quieter than authority. It doesn't guarantee your child will follow your advice. It simply keeps the door open so they might want to come back and talk. Another gentle truth Steinberg highlights is the importance of respecting psychological independence. Your adult child isn't just building a career or home, they're building an identity separate from you. That separation isn't rejection. It's a necessary step in becoming whole. When parents interpret independence as disconnection, anxiety rises. And anxiety often shows up as over-questioning, repeated advice, or subtle criticism, all attempts to reduce the parent's discomfort. But to the adult child, it can feel like doubt rather than care. The book invites a quieter question. What if support doesn't always look like involvement? Sometimes support is confidence without control. Steinberg also speaks about mutual growth. This stage isn't only about your child maturing, it's about you maturing too. Parenting an adult child asks for emotional flexibility, the ability to hold love without ownership, concern without panic, guidance without insistence. It's not about becoming distant. It's about becoming safe, emotionally safe. A place they can return to without fear of judgment, lectures, or "I told you so." This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you learn to express them in ways that invite connection instead of closing doors. For example, shifting from "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" to "I'm really glad you shared this with me." Same care, different emotional impact. Steinberg emphasizes that strong adult relationships between parents and children are built less on giving answers and more on listening with respect. And perhaps most comforting of all is this: tension in this stage doesn't mean failure. Friction often appears precisely because both people are trying to find a new balance between closeness and autonomy. You are not losing your child. You are meeting them again as a fellow adult. What if this exhaustion you feel isn't proof you're doing it wrong? What if it's simply the emotional weight of loving someone you can no longer protect in the same way? Letting go of control doesn't mean letting go of love. Sometimes it means trusting that the foundation you built is strong enough to hold them, even when you're not holding everything together anymore. You don't have to solve the relationship today. You don't have to find the perfect words or the perfect balance between space and closeness. Relationships between adults are living things. They breathe, they stretch, they contract and open again. There may be seasons of distance. There may be misunderstandings. There may be days when you miss who they used to be, and days when you are amazed by who they are becoming. Both are allowed. This stage of parenting asks for a different kind of courage. Not the courage to protect, but the courage to trust. Trust their path. Trust your love. Trust that connection can survive space. You are not stepping out of their life. You are stepping into a new kind of relationship, one built on choice rather than dependence. And that kind of love, though quieter, can be deeply enduring. So if today feels uncertain, if your heart feels stretched between pride and worry, that doesn't mean something is broken. It means something is changing. And change, even when tender, is often a sign of growth for both of you. Let's pause here, not to fix, not to plan, just to breathe inside this moment of becoming. Now, let's take a few minutes to turn inward. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders soften. You might gently notice, I can love without controlling. My child's independence is not my failure. We are both still growing. Connection doesn't require constant closeness. I am allowed to trust the relationship. Just sit with whatever feelings arise. No need to change them. Just notice. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes.